This is News 6 Tonight.
Welcome, compadres, to News 6 Tonight. Are you okay over there?
It's the voice. It made me drop some things.
Yeah,
it's
the
like,
voice
wow.
on the little open there is a little better than what I'm working with tonight. So I apologize if I sound like a 1-900 number this evening.
Nobody's going to know what that is.
Our ratings are going to be huge.
Nobody's calling for your voice. And
Tell me what you're wearing.
Okay. Well, let's do some news before we get in trouble.
There's a manager watching. Hey, good to have you with us tonight.
It's so good of you to
for
tolerate us. Thank you so much. We're going to start with a story when we heard it yesterday, and then we started seeing the video pop up on social media. It is insane. It comes to us out of Marion County. And we say that these people are friends, but these are the friends you don't want.
I'm sorry, Brady.
Like
I'm sorry. Oh, my God.
The sheriff's office released this video. It's from January 10th, by the way. It shows Bradley Ming pouring gas on a bonfire with a number of other boys around him. Then the video goes on to show that Ming continues to pour gas on the flames, and even as the fire grows, there he is. And then he pours it some more.
This is so dumb.
It is such a bad idea.
Dumb.
Deputies say the boy who was actually this one who caught fire, and we're stopping the video right before
he catches on fire,
because it looked like a stunt man to me running, and then he runs into the lake to put the flames out. But by that time, he's already burned. He's got second-degree burns over a good portion of his body. He had to be airlifted out of this area, even though after he goes into the lake and he douses the flames, he comes out. I think he's just in shock.
But he doesn't even know
involved.
how badly hurt he is.
No, he has no clue, no idea. But this is just stunning video when you see it. And they're all laughing and having a good time. And there is nothing funny about what you're seeing right here.
Feels like there may have been some alcohol involved in these decisions.
I think that was the initial report, and I'm sure there's got to be an investigation as to where did these kids get alcohol? Did they underage buy, or did somebody provide it for them? It's just one of those stories.
Alcohol and young boys.
And fire.
And
gasoline.
Is a really
it doesn't
terrible mix. But you can see it. Have you seen the movies where they make the line to the fire?
Honestly.
He was trying to joke around. And then, interesting enough, the kid who got set on fire tried to cover for his friend in this case. He said, "Oh no, I threw a bottle
of water or something,
or gas into the fire, and it caught me on fire." And then the video was released, and it's pretty clear your buddy set you on fire, which I don't know about you, but if one of my friends sets me on fire, that's probably going to be the last time we hang out.
We're going to end that friendship, and I'm not even going to announce that we're not friends anymore.
We're not roasting marshmallows ever again, buddy.
We're not doing anything that involves flames.
That's some serious burns
he's got
right
most of his body. He's got second-degree burns. In the video we didn't show you was that his legs are bloody and everything, and it's like
he's wearing shorts.
Very, very serious stuff. So just parents, talk to your kids.
I mean,
talk to your kids.
Yeah, talk to your kids, but also don't raise dummies.
Okay, well, I mean, you can only give good advice, and it's up to them to take it.
There you go. Exactly. And maybe their parents have
so much.
Maybe their parents have said don't play with fire in the past.
You'll get burned.
All right. When we throw out words like habeas corpus, this is a bad one to say with this voice, you're probably like, look, let me call John Morgan, and he can help me get
Something's
through
up.
all this legalese with you. Well, habeas corpus basically requires the government to justify why they are holding you in jail. It's pretty important for our Constitution.
Doesn't it mean in Latin you have the body or something?
Wow, you're going way deeper than I.
Well, that's what it actually means.
John Morgan, where are you? I don't know. So that's interesting. So basically, what's been happening with all these immigrant detainees, what their lawyers are saying is that they're being held for long periods of time. They're not allowed bond, and this is illegal. Yeah. And so some of these lawyers have been able to make the case and have some success. 3 more immigrants were trying this same habeas corpus plan to try to get them out of jail. And our community correspondent, Mike Valenti, takes us through how it all went down.
I was inside the courtroom when federal immigration agents brought in Miguel Rincon Hernandez, handcuffed and shackled. The Venezuelan national has been held in the Orange County jail for nearly 30 days. That's according to his attorney, Philip Arroyo, who told Judge Julie S. Sneed that Rincon Hernandez has a valid work permit, driver's license, and social security card as he awaits a final decision on his asylum application. When informed about the length of Rincon Hernandez's detention, Judge Sneed said, quote, "I'm really concerned." She ordered he be given a bond hearing before an immigration court, but for now, he remains in jail. Also a Venezuelan national, Lopez Rojas was detained January 1st of this year. He had previously been granted immigration parole and is seeking asylum. Judge Mendoza ruled his detention was unlawful and ordered Lopez Rojas's immediate release. The next and final case of the day, Glenn Lira Fernandez, a Brazilian national, wearing shorts and a t-shirt, also handcuffed and shackled. His student visa expired in 2022, and on January 24th of this year, to be held February 12th. But Lira Fernandez was not released.
So habeas petitions, these are being used to challenge these mandatory detentions. That's where individuals are held without a bond hearing. Cases exceeding 6 months of detention, they have been in the past called unreasonable by the Supreme Court. So there's this whole argument and question that our courts are going to have to decide is, when do you actually get the rights guaranteed to you in the Constitution? Do you get them if you're here illegally? And that's what the Trump administration is trying to say.
But there is due process, right?
Right. There is due process, but it all gets a little murky legally, according to some.
Sure.
If you're not here legally, they say you don't deserve the same protections as an American citizen.
Yeah, the good news about this story, not the good news, but Mike Valenti is so good at finding the details in these stories and breaking it down for us and making it make sense. He was the only one in federal court and got that information today. So it's very important. You know, sometimes if there's not a big headline surrounding something, sometimes everybody else ignores it. But that's still something that's worth reporting. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, another story. We started this broadcast about fire in Marion County and those teens. We have another fire that happened in Marion County, and this one was a big one. It was an environmental concern. This happened earlier in the week, and when you see the video of it, it looks otherworldly. It didn't even look real. There was these railroad tracks, the ties, and the chemicals that were burning caused it to really reek. And the people in the community were like, what are we breathing in? And we don't want to, we want to make sure that this is cleaned up properly. And there's a whole big discussion over what's happening in this part of Marion County right now. So we sent our community correspondent, Tylisa Hampton, to talk to some people who live there and figure out what they have to say about it.
Marion County officials declared a state of emergency in Denellen after 40,000 chemically treated railroad ties caught on fire. City leaders say there was no above-ground well near the area, but water sample testing for public wells is being done, along with monitoring air quality, but no issues have been reported. As thousands of ties are carted away as part of recovery, the cause of the fire is still under investigation, but city leaders state the property is owned by CSX Transportation. It was during Tuesday's county commission meeting, officials said multiple attempts like code enforcement violations and formal notices were made to remove the hazardous materials beforehand. A spokesperson with CSX told me the railroad ties are owned by Trackline Rail, and the rail line and property where the ties were being stored is leased and operated by Florida Northern Railroad. In a part statement, they say, we asked the Trackline to remove the ties throughout December and January. Trackline had already removed thousands of railroad ties prior to the incident. The county commission has approved filing an injunction against all parties involved. The county attorney tells me they are preparing a draft.
So if you're wondering at home what railroad ties are, maybe it's obvious, but you know, you have the tracks that are metal, and then the piece of wood every so often that holds it together. And these things are treated with some pretty serious chemicals because they're out there. You know, you'll see a railroad tie out there for 80 years.
Yeah, exactly. They're built to last.
Yeah, creosote is one of the big things they use for
that's the stuff you hear about when your fireplace needs cleaning.
Yeah.
The creosote, right? Is that,
I think that's right.
I think so too.
Man, so yeah, everybody's out there is a little concerned. What have we been breathing in for the past few days? So,
and they want to make sure something like that doesn't happen again. I know, and I like that she pointed out it looked like they were in some sort of rural area, but then when they took, a drone shot, it's like their home's right there where that fire was. So people are concerned about what they're breathing.
Well, have you ever heard of a lady getting arrested for stealing her own car?
We hear a lot of weird things.
You hear a lot of weird things, but this is a different one. So Orlando police say they were called out to a tow truck company. This happened last month. An employee gets pepper sprayed. Lady shows up to the tow truck company. She says, "Hey, I need to get some stuff out of my car." The employee's like, "No, that's not the way this works." And she goes, "Yeah, it is." Sprays the employee, goes to her car, and her name's Quabriche Long. They ordered her to get on the ground when they got in. This is this lady in the pink shirt.
Wasn't
here.
she pepper sprayed as well? No, she got tased.
She got tased.
She got tased.
No, she didn't get the pepper spray.
Okay.
So she apparently told officers she came to get some personal items, which includes, and you're about to see it in this video, I get why she was so aggressive in getting in here.
I'm going to go back for my money too, my wad of cash.
$49,000 in cash. I have so many, look at that. Look at that.
That's not the thing that got her in trouble, though, I don't think.
She also had a gun. There were pills there as well. And the employee says the pepper spray happened and then he pulled the gun out.
Yeah.
I mean, this was just a whole mess of a situation in which this woman found herself in. But I suppose if you had 50 grand in cash laying around and then your car got towed, you'd be wanting it back.
Maybe all that money's not yours and it belongs to someone else and you want to make sure you deliver it to them.
That would be a good movie. They
probably have made movies on that.
Yeah, I'm sure they have.
Pretty sure.
So she was charged with burglary with battery, possession of a controlled substance, possession of a felony in commission, a gun in commission of the felony, and a little grand theft auto for stealing her own car.
All right, so what I've learned is if your car is towed and it is at the company, you don't own it anymore. You can't go get it unless you pay to get it out. She could have paid to get it out.
Yeah, and she had to trespass.
Yeah.
What is it usually, $150? You say, hey, let me take a couple of hundreds.
Can I just get the money out of the car to pay you, and then we're all good? But
man,
don't
hey,
do
if
what
you ever
she
keep
did.
50 grand in your car, let me know.
That's another issue altogether. All right, we have much more coming up on the other side of the break, including a story. There's a man who's running for governor of Florida, and he wanted to use a certain platform to kind of be where the people were.
Would the voters swipe right? Or would they swipe left?
They're not going to swipe anywhere because he's been kicked off. We'll talk about it when we come back.
Welcome back to News 6 Tonight, 1900 edition. Back at you. And hey, we're going to stick with that
I like
theme.
how you think people are just going to pay for your voice right now. Like,
I think
the way
this station pays for my voice.
Wow.
So,
That's sad.
what, Azonia, hey, Ginger and Matt, I'm watching from the Caribbean. Whoa, I love it.
Send us some of that heat.
Yeah, please. My word, it's a little chilly out there tonight. Thanks for watching, Azonia. All right, you may have found a mate on Twitter, but the question is, could you find your future governor? Huh? Well, not anymore, because gubernatorial candidate James Fishback has gotten the boot from Tinder. Apparently, this guy right here, he was trying to reach young female voters.
Where they are.
He wants to share his plan to make it easier for them to get hitched, to buy a home, to raise a family in the state of Florida.
Wait a minute. Did you say hitched, like in married?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, that's his plan.
Okay.
He claims he ran out of likes in under an hour because he's such a hot commodity. How does it work on Tinder, Ginger?
What? Why are you asking me? First of all,
how do you run out of likes?
I don't even know what that means. First, I just don't understand why he thinks that women automatically want to get hitched.
Well, he's saying he's going to make it easier for him to get married and have it.
Why?
Because the economy
just the women?
I'm not. What am I? Am I Fishback? What are you grilling me for?
Because you said he wanted to make it easier for women to get
lay off of my back.
Let's get on Fishback.
I'm just telling the story.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
You know how I get.
Call him. Here's some other proposals in which he's garnered some attention. Major sin tax. He wants to put a 50% tax on OnlyFans creators in the state, with the funding going toward public education and crisis pregnancy centers. He wants mandatory school uniforms in public schools.
Okay, I remember this.
He also put on which you like.
I did like that.
The Mamdani tax, he calls it, a $50,000 tax levied on out-of-state buyers who are trying to buy houses. and then a homeless sweep. This one is not going to be super popular. I'm just going to tell you that, right? Sending the National Guard in to remove every single homeless person from Florida's streets.
Where would they go?
That question hasn't been answered. So this is a person who's, if you took polls of people, who are up for governor, he doesn't have the backing really or the money. So what he does is he tries to get attention in these ways. He got attention on our show tonight. Congratulations, Mr. Fishback. This is a very esteemed and award-winning show that you got on tonight. But it's it's like just one of those things.
It's like a shiny object over here. I just need some attention. And
it's a good headline. Guy got kicked off a tender who's trying to run for governor.
And then the OnlyFans tax also garnered a lot of attention too, because people were talking about that as well. So he's really good at marketing himself.
Yeah, you have to give him that.
Yeah. Because we're talking about it and other people have talked about it.
His chances of winning governor, at least at this point, if you looked on Polymarket or Kalshi or something like that, it would probably be below zero. I don't even know if
maybe that's not his end game. Maybe his end game is just getting people to know him a little bit, and then he could do something else. I don't know what.
But
then people, he goes, you remember I ran for governor and this was my platform.
Yeah, I was the guy who was on Tinder.
Yeah. So he has no... I don't want to say no chance, but he is
the odds aren't good right now.
And that race is this year.
Hey,
I mean,
so, he doesn't have a long time to build up that Q rating. So let's talk about your story you did today. I really enjoyed watching it.
Oh, thank you.
Interesting.
I enjoyed putting it together and learning something myself. That's the one thing I really enjoy about working in this community. We do get to go out and tell phenomenal stories, and we get to pick and choose some of our stories. And nothing makes me happier than when your boss says, hey, for Black History Month, can you go out and find a really good story and put it together and tell it? Mm-hmm. So I found out about Hannibal Square. It's a neighborhood in Winter Park. It was founded in the 1880s, late 1800s, by formerly enslaved people, laborers, and Black families. And it happened 14 years after the Confederacy fell. And when you think about Winter Park, you think about very wealthy people of a certain race, these giant homes, high-end shopping, expensive restaurants. You don't think
when you say a certain race, you'd say white people, like
that's
wealthy
white people. Yeah. And so you don't think of Black people being the foundation of Winter Park, and that's exactly what happened. But then they were run out, of course, as you know, because of segregation and so many other things. But I was able to find, her name is Farrellyn Livingston, and she is, my gosh, what a treasure, what a treat to be able to spend time with her, to give me a history lesson on Hannibal Square in Winter Park, a place where she grew up when it was segregated in the 50s. And she pointed out where her house was. Her house is literally where she grew up. Her house is 2 blocks off of Park Avenue. And if you know anything about Park Avenue in Winter Park, high dollar.
Touch a house.
No.
A lot for under $1 million.
Nothing. And it is so popular. But she told about growing up there and how it was a sense of pride for that community to be self-sustaining. Like they didn't require help from the outside communities because they stuck together. It truly was. It takes a village. She said she didn't even have a phone. Her neighbor would have a phone. They would go make a phone call at the neighbor's house. Just things like that. Yeah. And outside of the school, the place that is her former elementary school is this beautiful mosaic that was created by the folks at Crealdi, and the kids put it all together. And it tells the history of Winter Park and Hannibal Square. And it was so shocking because she goes, oh, this is the church where everybody went. And she goes, okay, this in the center, it says family, and there's this house and it has the number 800 on it. And she goes, do you recognize that number? Because at the beginning of her tour, she said, I grew up my address was 800 West New England Avenue. I was like, oh my gosh, your house is the center of this piece of artwork that's now woven into Winter Park history. I got chills talking to her about it. But what it reminded me of, Matt, is that here's this woman, she is not even 80 years old. She's 79. But she was a part of this community. And we talk about segregation and things that happen, and it seems like it happened so long ago. But here's this woman who lived through it and
she saw it with her own eyes.
Yeah. And is telling the story now, so we don't ever forget that happened, and we don't ever forget the story of how this community came to be. And the cornerstone of that community would not be there if it were not for people like her and her family.
Mm-hmm. How do they feel about the current state? Because you go there, Hannibal Square, very fancy, very ritzy, obviously gentrified at this point.
That's the word she uses too.
My two questions are, how do they feel about what it's turned into, and where did the people who were pushed out go? Did they go to Eatonville? What happened?
Yeah, well, growing up there, you would go to Winter Park High School if it were not segregated, but they had to go to Eatonville to go to high school. So they did.
So she couldn't go to Winter Park.
No, and they know it's gentrified, but they also say that they are still here and that history is still there, and as long as she is alive to tell the history, it won't be erased. And they want people. It's the Heritage Center that's in Hannibal Square. They want to hear these stories because that's the only way it's going to be kept alive. Sometimes word of mouth is the way these stories are carried on, and it changes over generations because, that telephone game, you say one thing and by the end of it, you don't get the full story. They're encouraging people who have stories, who have pictures, to tell their stories and donate it to the Heritage Center so they can tell those stories. And if you ever go down there, and I highly encourage everyone to, you'll see the beautiful pictures of the people who grew up there in the late 1800s through the 1950s and 60s. Just such beautiful pictures of cars, fashion, and it just makes you smile. But to see that and just read it in their own words, that means that history is written down and it won't be erased.
Good stuff, Ginger Gadsden.
I love
Thank you
doing
for
it.
that.
I loved learning that.
Very cool. Well, you're going to learn a little more after the break about a place you can get married at Disney. Our boy DJ is going to tell you about that. Coming up.
All right, we're running out of time quickly here, but we are talking about something, and I don't know if a lot of people would do it, but Matt, you proposed to your wife at
a
Publix. Where'd you get married?
At a church.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so at a
Nothing
church.
elaborate.
All right, so Disneyland is saying that soon,
We weren't in
soon,
Italy.
you're going to be able to get married at the Haunted Mansion. Right now it's at Disneyland. It's opening its doors to host weddings. And I'm wondering if people would actually get married there. We're already old married people, so let's bring in someone who's not married.
Yeah.
Would people actually get married?
Would you? You're a Disney fanatic. Let's just
The
throw
biggest
that out
Disney
there.
person ever.
Yeah, exactly.
Self-proclaimed.
Would you get married at the Haunted?
Well, can we, for a second here, the jokes write themselves that this is the place where people go to die, right? So, what does this say about
Ouch.
marriage?
Death do us part, DJ.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what this says about marriage, but we're talking about, like, for real, this is, I think, so cool because these attractions, and I'll try not to get emotional, these attractions have so much meaning to so much people, so many people out there. And the perfect example is I'm going to speak like it's a person. We just lost Dinosaur last weekend at Animal Kingdom. And I was there. And it was so emotional for me for many reasons. I cried multiple times. It was not only the memories of riding that with family. My grandpa was no longer here. That's one of the rides I remember vividly with him.
Oh my gosh.
But then coming off that ride, we're standing there and all these people are coming off, and I witnessed so many people walking out of there. I'm not sobbing, just
Not
weeping.
just you. There were other people.
So many, and so I'm seeing these people, and one of our other coworkers here, John's here, and I turned to him. I was like, "This woman just walked out here sobbing," and I turned around. I was like, "I can't look," because I started sobbing seeing her. So these attractions just mean so much to these people, and it's cool being able to do this. Hopefully, they just keep adding more and more places.
You gonna get married there?
I would say Haunted Mansion is legitimately probably on my top 2 rides, and it might not be 2. So it is.
Really, you're
one
that
of
big
the,
of a fan.
I'm a huge Haunted Mansion fan, and I think it's super cool. They didn't announce Disney World yet. I would assume that's coming once the construction over there is done.
Yeah, this is land.
This is just over in Anaheim, so there's a lot happening here, but I would imagine it's coming and keep adding. Like I said, these things mean
That's
so
a
much
small
to people.
wedding.
25,
people
yeah.
is all you can
That's
fit.
fine. That's
All
fine.
right,
You're not going to
interesting.
remember if it's a giant
This
party.
is how much I have a hard time grasping how much these things mean to Disney fans.
I know, and we have to really temper the way we talk about it. And twice now, DJ has made me realize, like, you know what? Just because it's not for you doesn't mean it's not for other people.
Don't get him talking about the Frozen ride.
No, that's the other thing. That was the other thing.
We'll
Get
save
our
that one.
equipment wet with tears.
I love that he wears
I'm a
his
puddle.
feelings on his sleeves right there. DJ, thank you for sharing
Yes.
that. I
We
appreciate
appreciate
it. Oh my God. We appreciate you for joining us
Maybe
tonight.
you could meet your Tinder date with James
good
Fishback,
night, everybody.
and then you can marry him at the
Good
Haunted
night.
Mansion.
Have a good
It's
one.
perfect.
Just cut this part off.